Hey guys, it's Jessica, and as you know, I started this YouTube channel. I sold my business in February, and I went into learning about pain reprocessing therapy after dealing with the last 2 years of dealing with ups and downs with my health. And so I went into learning about pain reprocessing therapy, felt like God gave me a great vision of just, getting on YouTube and doing all this stuff and talking about all of it. But as you know, sometimes when you start something like that, it can actually cause you a little stress. And I just want to share with you, as I got into the Word and trying to get my nervous system back to being calm, I want to share with you some of the cool things that I feel like God was just speaking to me. I got a notebook, and I always say to people, get 2 notebooks. This one is my emotional healing notebook. This is one where you want to actually record your just prayers and your thoughts and all the things that you're learning about your nervous system. That's what this notebook's for, and it's going to be really, really encouraging for you to look back on. If you start writing now and start writing the things that you learn, whether you're learning it from me or from some other Christian mind-body coaches or whatever the things that you're learning, write those down because they're going to be extremely helpful for you. Your other notebook is for letting the Lord speak to you through the Word. This has been so transformational and powerful for me, just to be able to look at what God has spoken to me, like through His Word and through worship and things like that. And so today's worship was just really powerful. And what I like to do sometimes is just turn on Spotify or whatever it is that you have, and then just like hit it to just do shuffle. And it's like, I feel like sometimes God is just like speaking to me in the shuffle. It's so wild. And so today, I know that I'm having some systemic inflammation. I don't know if it's just from the little bit of extra stress that I have going on or just some environmental things going on. I do have issues with systemic inflammation. That's what happens. I also have trigeminal neuralgia. And so it is just, like, I could tell when my body's getting a little flared up. I don't feel right. I can't think straight sometimes. And I've heard a lot of women just messaging me and saying, hey, I'm having the same things. I'm having a lot of this stuff going on. So what I would just say to you is just like, get your body and your nervous system to a state of calm. That's going to be so important. It's not always easy to do, but we have to recognize that your brain is just overprotecting, and you're getting into that fear mode, and you sometimes don't even realize it's there. But your subconscious is a very powerful thing. I've learned a lot about the mind, and I'm not a psychologist by any means, and I'm not a medical professional, but I've learned a lot. And I've learned that with pain, even, like, if you can remove the fear from it, it just becomes a sensation. That's what they teach scientifically. Like, if you literally just remove, so pain equals a sensation plus a fear. So if you remove the fear, then it just becomes a sensation. And so when we do exercises like somatic tracking exercises, things like that, I would work with you with somatic tracking exercises. And through that, we're not trying to change anything. We're just trying to get our brain where we're not associating those symptoms with fear. And so it's a really powerful, cool thing. And I had to do my own somatic tracking this morning. I was not feeling my best. I've been going through some stress. But what happens with total immune load is that you can imagine your immune system like a bucket, and you're just putting water into that bucket. And so different things like environmental triggers, or being overreactive, or not getting enough sleep, or eating things that are on your food sensitivities list, which if you haven't done a food sensitivities test, I think that you should definitely do that. It's really important to know what your food sensitivities are. That was really helpful for me, and I found out that I have food sensitivities to yeast and beef and gluten and walnuts and lima beans. Like, what? So, different things that you might be having food sensitivities to, all of those things, and then just like I said, stress and anxiousness, all these different things can add to that immune bucket. And so eventually that just kind of spills over, and that's when the symptoms begin to show up. So because I'm having symptoms, I know that there's different things that are triggering that. And so I have to not freak out, which is what I would have done before. I can't freak out. I can't go into fear mode, which is what the enemy wants to do. He wants to send us to fear, right? That's where he gets most people. And that's why the Bible says over and over and over again, do not fear, right? And so we have to get ourselves where we're not afraid. And so we trust the Lord, trust Him. We know that He's in control of our life, and we know that there's really nothing that we're in control of except for our own actions and what we do. And so I'm a strong believer that if you want God to do the supernatural things, we do want to do the physical things and try to take care of our temple and eat right and do the things that we know to do. But you can do only what you know to do. And so instead of ruminating on that stuff, like, okay, well, I shouldn't have ate that, or I shouldn't have ate this, and you know what you should do. So anyway, long story. I just wanted to share with you this morning. So I woke up and I'm not feeling so great. And I'm like, okay. And I just did that shuffle. And I turned on I first turned on It Is Well. And as you know, that song, It Is Well with My Soul, it's just such a powerful song. And it's just like, no matter, even if I don't feel great, or you may be having some inflammation, or may have some teeth pain or something where I don't feel the greatest, I can trust that it is well with my soul. The Bible says, think about whatever things are good and lovely and true and pure and all this stuff, right? We have to think, we have to change our thoughts and rewire our brains to think differently than we've always thought. Then the very next song that came on was a song called Take Courage. And it says, slow down, which I know that I have a hard time talking fast, so I'm really sorry for that. I try to edit the videos. Maybe I'll put it in slow motion for you. But I do know that this song, I've never heard it before, and it says slow down, which we as women, I'm hearing a lot of messages from women. We are going, and we don't take time to slow down and to breathe in. The song says breathe in. He said he'd reveal what's to come. We get worried about all this future stuff. We don't have to. It says his thoughts are higher than mine. Take courage and stay steadfast, because he is in the waiting. Because it's during the waiting that God can help us during the waiting. It's when we're weak that he's made strong. And so, look, we pride ourselves as women on like, oh, look at what I did, or at least the old me was like that, look at what I can accomplish. Look at me. Look at what I did. We're being strong for our families, and we're trying to support, and we're trying to do all the stuff that we do as women. And really, God's calling us to just put our faith and trust in him, and to not be full of ourselves, but to be like, okay, I see what you're doing here. It's in my weakness that you are strong. And so this song goes on to say, hold on to your hope as triumph unfolds, because he's never failing. Don't forget his great faithfulness. He finishes all that he has begun. God has always been faithful to us. We've been faithful to him, so he's always been faithful to us. So why would he fail me now? Like, I don't know why. Why do we worry? Why do we worry? Unless we're not following him, then we should have probably a reason to worry. But why do we worry? And then the next song that came on was The Commission. If you haven't heard that, I'm going to link these songs because they were just so good this morning, and I just have to share them. The commission, like, what am I doing? Like, the commission is to go and tell the world the good news. Like, what has he done for me? That's why I started this. Like, I want people to know what he did for me, and I hope that you will experience the same thing. Like, it's so powerful and life-changing. And then the next song that came on was Come and See by Jeremy Rosado. He's a great singer too. By the way, I think he was on American Idol. I'm not sure. But it says basically, come and see what God has done and how he's changed me. Ever since I met the amazing grace, everything has changed. It was just like a reminder to me of like what he's done for me and how he's changed me, especially over the last 10 months. Like, I'm not the same person today that I was. I'm not. And I don't want to go back to that person. And then the next one was, well, It Is Well came on again. I don't know why. Maybe I really needed to hear that one today. And then the next one was Made a Way. And I had never heard this, but it seems like a pretty cool little chorus. And it's by Church of the City. And it says, you made a way when it looks as if it was over. You move mountains. You cause walls to fall. With your power, you perform miracles. Nothing is impossible. I am praying for you. If you have specific prayer requests, please drop them below in the comments. I don't have all the answers. I'm not a medical professional, but I want to help in any way I possibly can. And I am working towards trying to get group coaching done. If you're interested in maybe like something for your church, like group sessions, reach out to me through the form below. Let's have a conversation and see. I'm just taking this one step at a time, one day at a time, and I'm trying to keep my nervous system out of fight or flight mode while I do this, along with the other responsibilities that I have. But hey, listen, just follow along, follow me as I follow the Lord, and together let's become the best versions of ourselves that God has created us to be, not just for ourselves, but for our families and for future generations. God bless you.